your enemies. Bless them that curse you. Do good to them that hate you. And pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you.
Which is the first commandment of all?
Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might, and with all thy strength. This is the first and great commandment, and the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets.
Master, thou hast said the truth. There is one God, and none other but He. And to love Him with all the heart, and with all the understanding, and with all the soul, and with all the strength, and to love his neighbor as himself, is more than all the whole burnt offerings and sacrifices.
Thou art not far from the kingdom of God.
Fantastic. Thou art not far from the kingdom of God. You hear that, boys? Thou art not far from the kingdom of God. Stay on the right path. We're on the way to the kingdom of God. Fantastic. Good to see you guys. Good to see you. Let's say hello to Daniel Watkins, Glenn Solsh, Miss Mod Queen B. Who the hell is that? Is that somebody new? Come in my chat.
Some weirdo.
Miss Mod Queen B. Weird. And Barry Ross. A minute, there's 4 watching. Just let's wait a little minute, see if anybody comes in. Yeah, I didn't do a morning one. On Sunday, I kind of usually do the afternoon for a sermon one. So I won't be talking much today. It's watch party. It's sermon Sunday, so it's an hour odd long. So it's actually, let me get up so I know how long it is. So I won't be doing much talking. On the Sunday, it's listen to sermon day. I dare say I'll have a few things to say though. Leave a file. Oh, how long is it? It's an hour and 22. So yeah, I think we'll need to watch it rather than. Is that the right one? Yeah, Chuck Misslers. Chuck Misslers Transhumanism. So let's just wait a little minute though. See if anybody else got come in. We've got 4 in so far. But yeah, good to see you as always.
I wonder if one of them is a stalker.
Say again, Ben.
I wonder if one of them is a stalker.
Ugh, I don't know. Possibly.
More likely.
Possibly. Are you up? That's Harry. He's off. We went fishing earlier. So.
Did you do the phone thing? Bye, Harry.
Do you know what?
The phone thing.
The phone thing? What do you mean?
For Harry.
It's Sunday.
Oh.
Won't do it today. No, I'll do it. I'll give him a shout either tomorrow or Tuesday.
I'm off tomorrow anyway, so.
Alright, yeah.
So let me know. I'll give you a call in the morning anyway, because I'll be at Nan's.
Alright.
About. Shit.
Make a joint if you want to take one, yeah. You sure? Alright. I caught one Glen, just a Xander, a little Xander. I'll show you actually quickly. Where is it? It's in your WhatsApp, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's not big. It's just a 3/4 pound one, I'd say. Xander, I think you guys would call him a walleye. Some of you guys. So there's that. Bless, dude. See you in a little bit, man.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.
So, Biggie said bye.
Bye.
Say bye, babe. He was halfway out the door when you said bye. So Here it is. Yeah, hold on.
You weren't even
Is that a video
recording.
camera, yeah?
Hold on. Right, so yeah, it's only about 3 seconds. I don't need to show you clearly. Right, it's a little Xander. Let me just share. And no, present. He was halfway out the door when you said bye him, but
That's all right.
that's why I had to shout. Window. Yeah, I don't need the sound on, so I'll just show you quickly.
Do you need to lock the door?
I will in a sec. Window. Share. There he is, wee boy. There's no sound on it. I'll just play it anyway. It's only 3 seconds.
You weren't even
Is that a video
recording.
camera, yeah?
You weren't even recording, but I am now.
There it is. Yeah, just a little £3/4 one, but we was out for a couple of hours and there was only one catch, and that's the catch I got. So it was better than nothing. You know what I mean? So it was better than nothing.
Afternoon, Keith.
Oh, hello, Mr. Flatoid. How's it going, pal? I've just got back from fishing, and I caught your video from earlier. We not four jacks, jack of all trades.
Glenn said they call it bait.
Oh, if you don't call it walleye, you call it bait. Yeah, no, it's only a canal fish, so they get bigger than that, but they don't get that big because the canal at the most is what, 8 foot in the middle, 8 foot deep in the middle. So it's not very deep. So you ain't getting the biggest fish anyway. I mean, you'll get a couple of pounds when it comes to pike and that. Maybe a 2 pound patch at the most. You do get some bigger ones, but in general, there's not a lot of room in there for them. So yeah, they're smaller ones, and especially this time of year. I mean, that one's probably about a year old. So yeah, man. So yeah, we've got only 4 watching. I've got to wait and see if anybody comes in. But I dare say once I start playing it, like I say, Sermon Sunday, it's Chuck Misslers, and it's on transhumanism. It's more of a watch party, but I dare say I'll have a few weird words to say here and there. But I can't say too much because it's an hour and 20 long, and because if I end up talking for an hour and 20 video, then you know it's going to take me to Flats's time. So get watching it. So let's get started now, since there's only 4 watching. I don't think many more is going to come in. If they've got to come in, they'll come in after. Right, here we go.
Good evening, and welcome to Calvary South Denver. I'm so glad you're able to come out for our midweek Bible study, and we have a very special treat here this evening. My friend and mentor, Dr. Chuck Missler, is going to be sharing some things with us, and it's always exciting. You know, as a young man, I was first introduced to Chuck Missler via Chuck Smith. Chuck was being asked a question.
Yeah, Glenn, the only bass we get here is sea bass, and that's nothing like your bass. We don't get like freshwater bass.
That I found intriguing. He was asked the question, what is the most memorable and impacting Bible study that you've ever heard? And he paused for a moment and he looked up and he said, I think that it would have to be Chuck Missler's teachings in the book of Genesis. I had to get the teachings of Chuck Missler on the book of Genesis, and then the book of Daniel, then the book of Revelation. And
when I get a passport, I do want to go to the States to do some bass fishing because, wow, man, some of the fishing channels I've got, it seems so easy to catch bass. I'd love to go for bass fishing. If they seem to go for any bloody lure, any lure, white big mouth bass, large mouth bass, was it? Big mouth bass, large mouth bass, wide mouth bass, whatever they are, even small mouth bass. They seem to go for any lure, don't they? And they make beds and stuff like that. Yeah, bass fishing, I'd love to do it. And same with it, you get when you use lures and that, you can go like top water fishing to go for a pike. Our pike here, they don't tend to come to the top. I mean, they do if it's a big enough pike, but in general, you don't catch them on top at all. So I've never used like a whopper plopper lure because we don't get top water fishing here as well as you guys do. But I'd love to go there and catch a top water muskie or pike. with a whopper plopper.
Babe,
Yeah.
I'm just going to go and get your dog an ice cream because it's crying for one.
All right. I'll just got to play this and usually nice and heavy. Yeah. Aye. Wide mouth bass. Yeah. Yeah. That's it. I was got big mouth, large mouth, wide mouth. Some days eat better than others. On bass seems to be more about. Oh, I hate that blooming heart. Aye. And pressure conditions in mind. Right, got you. Right, I'll play this. I've got to go and lock the door.
Before you know it, I am hooked. Chuck Missler will, when he invites you to go on a trip with him, you will have to walk fast and think hard, but you'll always have fun. And again, it's just a great privilege to have him here. So let's give a warm welcome to Chuck Misslers.
Well, good evening. It's really a thrill to be here.
Evening, Chuck. Evening, sir.
As you can tell, Gino and I go way, way back, so neither one of us are very objective about those subjects. He's a friend, very close friend. And it's a delight being with you. And I'm going to avoid the usual mistake I make by starting without prayer. So I'm going to just ask you to bear with me, bow our hearts. Father, we thank you for this privilege. We know there are no accidents in your kingdom, that we're all here right now by your divine appointment. So we pray, Father, that your purpose would be accomplished in each life in this room, that we might be more responsive to your will in our lives as we commit ourselves, not only this hour, but ourselves, into your hands. In the name of Yeshua, our precious Lord indeed. Amen. Well, we're going to talk about some very strange topics. And if you're pleased with them, that was my idea. If you're not too pleased with them, that's what Gino asked for. But so we're going to talk about some topics that are emerging to be very relevant. Some of these you may not have heard of, but you will, because we're moving into some very strange times. And just in terms of awareness and its biblical relevance, we wanted to really pose into these things. And are we going? Yeah, we're doing here? Good, okay. Many of you may know that some years ago that we had published some things in biotech and calling it the Sorcerer's Apprentice. And it's not caught up.
Glenn said, fish are definitely affected by barometric pressure, some types like to rise and others in pressure, and others like to drop in pressure. I definitely, because like I've seen like carp, I think in the summertime they tend to like come to the top more, or does it go to the bottom? I can't remember. But one of the other, in the winter they either stay at the bottom and they rarely come to the top, and in the summer I think they come, but they're on the top when they're mating a lot. They're always on the top when it's spawning season, and that's usually summer. So yeah, they're on the top a lot in the summer. That's carp. When I caught pike, we never see them. You just catch them. The water's that murky as well. You just catch them. We tend to know where they look about, but you don't see them in the water when they're chasing your lure. Not unless your lure's right at the top. But in general, if you're halfway down or whatever, you don't see the pike it's chasing for. It's kind of potluck sometimes. You do know where they hung about at, but you can't see them chase it unless it's near the top. Because the canal water here is rubbish. It's really murky. Crap. Are you back, babe?
That dog, I tell you.
Is she a pain in the butt?
She had two pouches of food earlier. Then I gave her an ice cream. She annihilated it within like seconds.
No doubt.
And then she's just had another pouch of food.
She's a muncher.
She's a pig.
I know.
Pillar there, I'm not seeing it. It's all there, right? Yeah, okay, yeah, sorry. I'm getting it.
Sorry, the age of hybrids. And yeah, it definitely seems like it's going that way. I mean, AI, building them for demons, try to make humans better, live longer, try to make them immortal, I suppose. Like whether it's building on the human body or mixing it to become cyborg-like, or putting your consciousness into an AI, sort of thing. Yeah, yeah, dude. Well, I caught it. It was chatterbait I used today. I used a swim bait. I wasn't getting much on the swim bait. Then I put a little micro spinner on to see if I could get some wee perch. But that wasn't happening. So I put on a chatterbait, and that's what I caught that Xander on. Got that Xander on a crankbait. Sorry, a chatterbait. I use spinner baits, chatterbaits, swim baits, jigs. I'll use any lure there is. I use spinners. Used to be my favorite, but in my opinion, when I used spinners, it was kind of cheating. I was because I was pretty much guaranteed to catch on a spinner. Not all the time, but it's really easy to catch on a spinner. It's easier to catch on a spinner than anything else, I think. But yeah, especially because it's a treble hook as well. It's a treble hook as well. Hi Esther, good to see you. Good to see you. Fishtail Sunday.
Fishtail Sunday.
Yeah, I use crankbaits, jack baits, anything, swim baits, the ones with the lips. I don't use I haven't used a swim bait. No, sorry, I haven't used a crankbait without a lip, without the diving lips on them. But I think I've used most kind of lures. Most kind of lures. I think of any lures I haven't really. I got an electric one. I never used it today. It's got a propeller on the front of it. I'll actually show it on camera. 2 seconds. But I haven't used it today. I got this one. What?
She's walking around with that frog in her gob now.
Is she?
Yeah.
I got this one, but I never used it today. I got that one, but that one's got. Oh, where am I? Hold on, let me keep myself up big. Yeah.
Go.
You're right, Michael. How you doing, man?
Hello.
I got this one, which it lights up in the belly, and when you charge it, you have to put a crocodile clip there, crocodile clip here. And it's got a propeller on the front that drives it to the water, and it's got a green light on its stomach. It's not really, but I haven't used it. But it only works for half an hour, and then you got to charge it for 2 hours. Yeah, it's got a propeller. I've never used it yet, but it does work because I tried it in the sink. I wanted to try this one, but I'd rather try it in a river or something. The canal's a bit of a waste for it. It's just all of the art.
Minnie just spotted you on the telly.
Did she? She was in the face.
Barking.
Is she? She's a little numpty. So yeah, it's a watch party on transhumanism with Chuck Misslers, Michael.
Cool.
And obviously, if you want to say something, then you just do the normal, say stop and that. But I'm trying not to talk much too.
Hi, Dylan.
Because it's an hour. It's an hour and 22. So if I speak,
I've got dinner on go as well, like so I'll be in and out anyway. So.
Yeah.
Did you go to bed last night, Michael?
Did I?
I didn't even notice you'd gone, and I looked and you were gone, and I asked PJ, I said, has Michael gone to bed? It's past 10 o'clock.
Yeah, you know me so well.
That's it, man. Hey Dylan, hey Jeff, good to see you guys.
I start getting ratty and that by that time. There's
I'm
no
like
point.
that though.
I know sometimes in flats you say good night about 20 times before you actually say good night.
No, don't. I'm sick of saying goodbye and then having to do it like 10 times.
Yeah. It had all signs of going on for another hour, so I thought like I'm gonna have to go to bed.
Yeah,
I think it did go on for another hour. Yeah.
It was about half an hour after you left.
No.
What time did you go, Michael?
It was gone 11 when it finished.
About 10 past 10, something like that.
Yeah, well, it was about 11 o'clock, I think. It finished.
Because I literally put in chat, it's Sunday for Keith now. You might finish before Monday.
Right.
Because it was people just don't stop talking.
Yeah, Glenn electric lure. Yeah. You get the crocodile clips to it goes. It's a USB. I'll show you the charger.
Did you get that off Temu?
Yeah, that was up Temu. Yeah. There's a charger for it. It's US. Oh, let me go bigger then. Keep forgetting that I'm. Ooh, what happened there? Keep forgetting I'm not big. So yeah. There's the USB side of it, and then the crocodile clips for it. Sort of thing.
I'll get on your nipples.
Yeah. I know. But yeah, it certainly works because I've had it in the sink, but I haven't tried. And you get a float with it. So you can only put it a certain length in there. Because I suppose if you just leave it there, it's on the bottom. It's not going to skip about much on the bottom, is it? So you get a float with it. It's the first lure I've ever seen that you have a float with. You know what I mean? So you can keep it a certain depth under the water. Yeah, I'll try it sometime. Oh, it's right there. There's the float for it. It's right next to me. I could have just shown it. So there. And there's the float for it. Little float for it. Little bobbin float. Right, enough of my laws. Let's get on with Mr. Chuck Misslers Transhumanism.
Yeah, gotcha. We're all set. Okay, good. Many of you may remember The Sorcerer's Apprentice, that was written by Paul Dukas back in 1897. And it was featured in Walt Disney's famous movie, Fantasia. And it was based on a legend or a Goethe's actual story about a sorcerer's apprentice who, in the legend, was tampering with the engines of creation. And
can't do it. The only live bait I could do is maggots, Dylan. I can't put a live fish on to lure fish. I can't do it. I could put a fish head on and maybe catch a catfish or something if I can find a catfish around here, which you can't. Not unless you go to a pond or whatever. You know what I mean? You're not gonna get it in the canal. But no, I couldn't use live bait. I couldn't get a little sunfish, say, or whatever, and catch a bass on it or whatever. Couldn't do it. Or what you got them groupers and that you get. I couldn't get like an actual fish, a little small fish, whatever kind, sunfish, whatever, and catch a grouper or something on it.
And sunfish massive?
Not the one I'm thinking of, no. It's only a small fish. No, it's about the size of a roach or a rudd.
I thought they were them weird ones that had like a fin on top and a fin at the bottom, and that was it.
There's something else. I'll check my phone. But let me play this while I'm doing it.
We issued this original story back in 2001, and we updated it a few times. And one of the things I wanted to do is update it here. And now the reason we call it the Sorcerer's Apprentice, the Bible.
Oh yeah, I'd use crickets. Worms. I wouldn't even use a crayfish. Wouldn't do that. I'd go as far as worms, crickets, and maggots. Couldn't do anything else. I mean, if it hit a caterpillar, I'd stick a caterpillar on there. But anything else, no. I wouldn't do a frog. No. I once stood in a frog and it was pregnant, and when I squished it with my foot, I didn't mean it. Squished it with my foot, all its spawn came out, and I felt devastated for it. I felt really, really bad, really bad. Mad, isn't it?
I sent you a picture of a sunfish.
Oh, did you?
They're huge.
No, that's not what I was thinking of. No, it's something else. It's sun something, but it's not that. It's not that what I was thinking of. No, it's not that one.
Oh, Glenn said that's saltwater sunfish.
Yeah, there you go. I'm talking about the fish.
No, I don't know. I just thought it was weird because sunfish.
They are big. That is saltfish, yeah. Yeah, because you're not getting a big fish like that in the canal or
That's bigger than a person.
Oh, what an idiot. I just texted that to you when I was trying to look for it.
I know, I noticed.
Yeah, they're huge. Them ones.
Called
right.
sunnies.
This is the ones I'm looking for. This is one I'm on about, babe. Hold on. Right, that one. That's a sunfish. That's the ones I'm on about. People use them for live baiting and stuff. It's a link. If you click on it, you'll see it. You don't get them here. I'm just saying, for instance, in America, because I've never seen them, yeah. But that's people use them for bait and that. Anyway, that's the one I was on about.
The Sorcerer's Apprentice. Most of us may remember that old castle. Mickey was clad in a sorcerer's robe and hat, and they had psychedelic armies of brooms, and Relentless March of Duca's Symphony went on. And only when the castle was a flood, and the sorcerer wake up, because his student had done it improperly, and he had to undo what he did. And of course, Mickey got off just with a swat of the broom. But we may not get off as well, because the Sorcerer Apprentice is unleashing things that people may not realize where they're going. And it's interesting that technology is often a very close cousin of sorcery, even in the literature here. And so, you know, many of the things we enjoy every day would look like sorcery to the people back then. Flying through the air at the speed of sound, and communicating images with the speed of light, and even landing on the moon. These are ideas we take for granted today, but I want to get that in perspective. And so we want to move on here a little bit, and I'll get off we don't need to get in all the history here. But
You caught a 10-pound catfish on a cricket. I mean, a 10-pound catfish went for a little cricket. Wow, man. Couldn't have been hungry. Fair play, man. Fair play. Mind you, 10 pounds for a catfish is quite medium, isn't it? Because catfish go massive, huge. I've heard of like 90 kilo catfishes and that. I mean, that's big.
But catfish has just been caught not long ago in England.
A big one, did you say?
Yeah, record got broke just before the summer, I think.
And what was the record?
Can't remember. I think it were over
100. Yeah, because they go massive. Some catfish, huge, man, huge. I mean, some of them could swallow babies. I'm telling you. Not that we advise that kind of thing, yeah.
moving into what some people are calling the age of the hybrids, and I'll explain why. We're going to talk about one aspect of that, and that's the move towards transhumanism. What do we mean by that? And we're going to discover there are 4 technologies that are...
Yeah.
It was £143.
£143 in the UK?
Yeah.
Yep.
So what's about 143, about 80 kilo?
64.4 kilo.
60, okay. Maybe a bit less then. That's big.
Mm-hmm.
That's big.
accelerating so fast, it's amazing, and they're converging upon each other to create some changes that really are changing by the week, not by the year. And we're going to talk a little bit about the challenges they present, but we'll also highlight some of the dangers that should...
Dude, if you caught a 10-pound catfish at 10-year-old, you must have had a big fight. I'm telling you, that would have put up a good fight, man. At 10-year-old, that's brilliant, man. That's cool. I would have been well chuffed with that. I didn't start fishing until 4 years ago. And I'm from a fishing town, and it took me to come to a city to start fishing.
In a dirty canal.
not be overlooked. But we're going to talk on another topic. It's a close cousin of that one. We're going to talk a little bit, not too much, relax, but we're going to talk a little bit about alien invasions. And there are two kinds of people here in the world, those that think they're just a myth, and those who have done a little bit more homework and may surprise you. So we'll go into that a little bit. We'll talk a little bit about the Nephilim. Everybody wants me to talk about Genesis 6, and it's astonishing to me, you know, that how many people have come to the Lord through those peculiar, weird things we put out there years ago. Not only
seems a lot of the stuff I'm doing recently seems to point towards Nephilim, doesn't it? It's not always by choice as well. I mean, some of them's been by choice, but some of them's kind of been by accident. But yeah, a lot of the stuff I've been doing lately is pointing towards the Nephilim. Excuse me.
only at Genesis 6, but also after that. And we'll try to explore a little bit, what did Jesus mean when he said spoke of the days of Noah? As the days of Noah were, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. What did he mean by that? And so we're going to surprise many here with talk a little bit about the expectations of the Vatican. The Roman Catholic Church has a substantial investment in technology, staff, and facilities, and are openly admitting they are preparing to receive an alien visitor.
I wonder if Roger's with Duffy yet.
I was thinking that earlier because I seen him on South Sun's stream this morning.
And he was on Flax's.
And I thought you ought to be preparing for your debate, not sat on streams.
No. And he was on Flax's 7-minute stream earlier.
Not debate, presentation.
Flax did a stream earlier for 7 minutes, and he was there as well. I only seen it when I come in from fishing, though. It was done about 3 hours ago, I think. I would say he must be there by now. Don't know. So there's a good chance.
What on earth is all that about? We'll touch on that. But after going through some of this background, it'll be light and fast, so I hope I won't bore you too much on some of that. But what are we always need to answer the so what question. So what's that got to do with me? And we'll try to deal with what do these challenges mean to you personally. And so that's where we're headed. A little bit about transhumanism. There are 4 technologies you need.
Jeff, so it's 4 o'clock our time he's going. Cool. So it's in an hour and a half. Cool.
Need to be aware of. And one of them, of course, is genetics and microbiology. I assume in this audience, I don't have to elaborate on that. You're familiar with the incredible discoveries that are continuing to be made.
That's the thing, yeah. Good luck to Roger. No, definitely good luck to him. Bless him. But it was mentioned to Duffy about going there. I mean, he didn't even say he was going to debate him or talk to him about that. It was just, yes, he was on a Flat Earth channel at the time, but he says, oh, I'm going to come to your church, visit your church now. And the first thing Duffy said was, bring your presentation, bring your evidence. Who said he was going there for that? He was going there just to check out the church, you know what I mean, for all he knows. You know what I mean? And that's what he was going to do. He wasn't going to do no debating. But it just shows you where their heads are at, doesn't it? Like, oh, yeah, bring your presentation. What's a Flat Earther can't come and visit your church without having to present evidence. You know what I mean? Crazy. Was you going to say something like that?
He's getting too much airtime for my liking, this Duffy.
Oh, I'm telling you, he is, and he's getting on Flat Earth. He's getting on anti-Flat Earthers. He's getting it Globers and the normies. You know what I mean? He's all over the place. He's getting it all over the place.
Every day in that whole field.
Sorry, I don't think he's a legit. Well, he might be a legit pastor, but I don't think he's devout. I don't think he's devout.
You can see him doing sermons and that, so he's definitely a pastor, but whether he's an honest pastor remains to be seen.
That's it. That's what I'm saying. I don't think he's devout.
From what I've seen, is dishonest, you know.
Very dishonest. I mean, the first one I had was, no, I haven't researched heliocentrism or geocentrism at all. And you're debating Witsit on it. What do you mean you haven't looked into it? How could you not have looked into it?
Yeah.
Especially when you're doing this whole trip thing. Of course you've looked into it. Ridiculous.
Must have looked into it to know that there were even a reason to
to do that.
Yeah, you know.
Experiment. Well, some experiment. It's a bloody observation at best. If it happens.
But there's another technology, you may not follow too closely, but it's worth following very closely, and that's another field of study called robotics. And we're also going to talk a little bit about nanotechnologies and what are these things. And finally, of course, the area of artificial intelligence. And so we'll talk about their aspirations, and that will startle you, and what their priorities are, and that may surprise you. And we'll talk about its dangers. So that's the core of what we're going to talk about. We'll go on to some other things too. Tampering with the engines of creation. You and I are on a journey between the myths of yesterday and the realities of tomorrow. Many of us are victims of myths of the past, and we're having to unscramble the realities of tomorrow. I won't spend a lot of time on the island of Morocco.
Duffy's done an 8-hour hit piece on flat Earth. No doubt. Another one. Crazy.
But you may recall H.G. Wells published a science fiction novel about this island where this doctor had combined different beasts into other creatures and so forth. And it warns of in the novel, the dangers of unchecked and irresponsible scientific research. And what's interesting about the novel, that's unfolding as we speak for many reasons. These animal hybrids that H.G. Wells in his model mentioned were called chimeras. And that was a mythical Greek creature with a lion's beard, a goat's body, and a serpent.
Oh, a few weeks ago. I didn't watch. Well, I wouldn't watch that anyway. What the hell? Won't watch anything of his. The only reason I watch anything of his is either on Flax's or if it's elsewhere on something else. I won't intentionally go to the final experiment to channel to watch anything.
Me neither.
No. Not interested. Same as I won't go to meet tunes, FTFEs, anything like that. I think the only Globus channel I ever went to was Sean Hawkins. That was it once.
Tail. And scientists today have created sheep that possess human hearts. And
sorry, no. We went over to Hugh Josh's, didn't we? Me and you, Michael, and we got banned straight away.
Yeah.
From Hugh Josh, the Australian dude.
Yeah.
Straight away.
Livers, just to mention a few. Pigs that have been born with human blood. Did you know that? How many knew that? See, that's something that's not widely known, but is much heralded by many. And are they altering the genetic makeup of animal kingdom? Is that opening up a Pandora's box? Is that going to open the door to diseases we never heard of? And so forth. That's how we can be so terrified by the bird flu among the humans. Why? You'll discover that these things are they're creating things we didn't expect. Scientists at the Salk Institute in San Diego recently engineered mice that possess a small percentage of human cells. I think I hired one of those once. No. So they injected embryonic human cells.
Absolutely, Dylan. Absolutely. A pastor who speaks against biblical truth doesn't get any of my time or attention. Absolutely true, bro. Without a doubt. Especially when they are tied to as many shady people like Duffy is. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. There's no way he can seriously know McToon and think he's a good dude.
Exactly.
Crazy stuff.
Stem cells into the brains of rodent fetuses, resulting in birth of mice with both human and rodent brain cells. You think you may have met some of them. I don't know the feeling. And one of the goals of this research is very noteworthy. They're trying to make realistic models of neurologic disorders that may prove useful in studying other diseases. They all have good goals. Irving Weissman of Stanford University and his team injected human neural stem cells into mouse fetuses, and that helped make the first mouse with a nearly complete human immune system. So these things are worthy of study. There's worthwhile potential benefit here. And so the percentage of brain cells in the existing mice is only about 1%, but he thinks that they can make them almost entirely equivalent human cells as they go forward. So now the problems in these areas, while there's noble goals, there are few safeguards against errors or even open abuse. And of course, there are cross-species implications that there's no way to anticipate. And they actually have mice that they're growing human organs on in the hopes of actually.
I remember that. Bloody awful. Horrible looking thing. I mean, imagine being that poor mouse. I mean, I know we kill animals to eat and all that, but there's no need for cruelty like that, though. The vivisection and stuff, I don't think. Yeah, I think that's cool.
It's just weird.
Putting them to practical use. And if that picture doesn't bother you, you haven't looked at it carefully enough. Okay. unknown diseases or complications. Tampering with the human genome is part of the thing that's going on here. We're talking about genetically engineered athletes. That's a major topic. And scientists at Johns Hopkins University discovered a gene in mice which controls growth, the GDF8, and the growth differentiation factor, they call it. And so they yielded super mice 3 times larger and much stronger than the normal ones. This was back in Nature magazine. And in this field, many of these slides are quickly eclipsed by things that are happening each week. So I won't spend a lot of time on these, but there were mice that grew 15 to 30% larger than normal, and even there's.
I haven't seen that, Dylan. I never watched a lot of South Park or anything like that. I watched a couple of them, I suppose, but it was never my kind of thing. American Dad or any of that. Never really liked them. It's the one that Harry watches. It was on YouTube for a while. There's 2 of them, and they're very similar.
Oh, that
Park Ranger thing. Can't remember what it's called.
Not Family Guy.
No, it'll come to me at some point.
Hi, Chillin.
Hey, Chillin, good to see you, bro. Big fan of South Park. Yeah, I never seen it. Well, I seen a few, but I never watched the series specifically.
There's potential fruit from this, but there's also dangers. That's really the main point I want to get across here as we go. And there are also potential self-replicating mutations, and they're all impossible to fully you can't anticipate the mutations. So while they may have experiments that have a certain goal, what really derives from this is hard to gain. And the other problem is these are not done in well-organized laboratories, government laboratories or university. There are many of the technologies here are done in garages, basements. There's no regulatory procedural disciplines. So this is an uncontrolled environment. And there are many small, intensely competitive laboratories chasing these things. And very few government or established labs that are the main ones here. Now, the think tanks back in Europe as well as here point out the free access to genetic sequence data for human genome and large number of other genomes, including pathogenic microorganisms, could pose a significant threat if misused. No kidding. That's pretty self-evident. And these are all from the International Space Research back some years ago. And a terrorist might develop a pathogen that could target a specific ethnic group. See, as we understand the genome, you can start creating diseases that can target specifics. And that's pretty spooky. Well, there's also this whole area of robot weapons that you may be hearing a lot about. I wanted to get a couple of them that I thought were interesting because they're predicted in the Bible, whether you realize it or not. In Jeremiah 50, verse 9, there's a verse, and I'm not going to concern ourselves here with the context, but just one phrase that's in it. Jeremiah records, "For lo, I will raise and cause up to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. And from thence shall she be taken." Get this. "Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man, and none shall return in vain." Now, in the English, you don't pick it up, but in the Hebrew, it's very emphatic. It actually, as of a mighty expert. The expertise is not in the shooter, it's in the arrow. Did you pick up on that? The verb is...
Ooh, that's interesting. The expertise is not in the shooter, it's in the arrow itself. So that would suggest technology.
We could also be talking about like missiles or bullets, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not necessarily a robot.
No, it could be on about, missile. Could be that. Definitely. But it's certainly something that's of this time period. It's interesting.
Call in the Hebrew, it means to be prudent, circumspect.
I dare say our friend would disagree with all this. What do you reckon?
Yeah. Wisely understand and prosper. That's a characteristic of the arrow, not the shooter. It's a participle masculine singular absolute. It means to have insight, to give attention to, consider, ponder, be prudent, to have in other words, the arrow has comprehension. Do you see what it's saying? Now, what can you give me some examples of that? Yes, I can. And by the way, the eye is...
That could be a homing missile. Like you said, though, if it's got comprehension, that could be something along the lines of a homing missile, because that might not be, that's not intellect as such, but it could be construed that way, I suppose.
Well, what do they call them? Smart bombs and stuff.
Yes, exactly. Flats, is he back again? Oh, he is.
Yeah.
How you doing, dude? You're going to? Oh, you're going to do Barbie some chicken. Nice. Sounds good, man.
He says the arrows shall be like a skilled warrior. They won't miss their targets. The NAS, the arrows will be like an expert warrior. So this is not a contrived translation. The intelligence is in the arrow, and they can't miss. In other words, these are smart weapons. They're mentioned in the Bible. Today we take them for granted, but I wanted to put a biblical root to the word. The arrow is katus. It's anything shot from an engine of war, shot by in 1611 when the King James, that was obviously a bow and arrow. But the same word could be used for a missile or anything thrown as an arrow or a javelin. And in that sense, I'll get through some of this here. That's exciting. I hear strange noises, but it's not changing, is it? Oh, boy. What do we do here? Huh? It won't, well, let's see if I can do this another way. Oh, there we go. Okay. That's just a repeat of that slide, but I think we're going in the right direction here. And I'm going to have to do this manually, maybe. Okay. These are examples of arrows that have intelligence. And these are all, there's a rifle, by the way.
Hey, bro, how you doing?
Bry them chickens.
Bry them chicken.
How's it going?
Let's see them chickens. Solo layout. Let's see them chickens.
I'm still making fire.
Oh, you're still making fire? Okay, good.
Yeah.
I thought the chickens were, I thought you were like tossing them about.
Just leave fire there in Africa, just lay it on the ground and it'll dry.
Stick it on a bit of metal on the ground and that's it. It'll just fry up. It'll fry up, man. Nice.
What you may want to know about. The XM25, I don't know if that's familiar. It's kind of an interesting device. It's coming to a war near you. It has a system of range, about 2,300 feet, and I believe they're using it in Afghanistan. But the gun, it has a gun sight that uses a laser.
Look at that gun. I mean, this actual sermon is 11. Well, it was uploaded 11 years ago, I think. If I remember rightly. So that's 11 years ago, and it's probably way before that this gun came out. I mean, look at that gun. That's mental. It kind of looks old-fashioned now, but it's still high-tech. You know what I mean? And look at it.
Who knows what they've got that you don't know about?
Telling you. Why? Do you see his American flag on his arm? Why is the stars on the soldier's arm there? Why are the stars on the right side instead of the left?
I can't even see it.
On his arm, on that soldier's arm there.
I can see it like it just looks like a red blur with a bit of blue on it.
With the blue bit, it's on the right hand side. It should be on the left, shouldn't it?
Is it? There's the entire thing.
Maybe it's just directed there.
But everything else looks right. He looks like he's right-handed. Most people are right-handed, and he's certainly right-handed.
Yeah, you've got that correct, Jeff. It is better than our summer.
Look how blue the sky is.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I know, man. It got hot here today as well, 25. But it was so I had to get back. Wow, man. Did you do that by rubbing sticks together? Or did you just set fire to some gorilla here?
They just left it, then it just lit on its own.
It just lit, spontaneously lit.
What I did is I slaughtered a chicken and prayed to the gods, and fire came down.
Nice. I hope you kept the blood to drink later.
No, I got some firelighters. It helps.
Yeah, firelighters, easiest way, isn't it? Too right. They're handy things.
That measures the distance, and it also sets a time on the bullet to explode, so you can shoot over the guys. If he's behind a barrier, you can shoot over the barrier and nail him. And so
it measures the distance and all that kind of crap. What would be the point in measuring the distances of such a thing as Coriolis and all that kind of crap? You know what I mean?
What's that film where there's that gun and like you fire the first bullet and then every bullet follows that one bullet?
Was that the Fifth Element?
Iron Man or something like that.
Oh, was it? I was thinking it was the Fifth Element. It's not. It's I see it in my head.
Yeah. It might be Fifth Element.
Oh, I definitely see one in my head.
But no, it's not Fifth Element.
It's not Fifth Element.
It's Gary Oldman though, isn't it?
Oh no, yeah, well Gary Oldman's in it. It's Fifth Element. It's the Fifth Element. Yeah, he fires it because Gary Oldman, he's got that thing on his face. He's got that plastic thing that goes over his hair. Hey, that's Fifth Element with Chris Rock and Bruce Willis. It is that. It's them kind of rhinoceros-looking things. Well, the big juju look things, sort of thing. It looks sort of like an ogre struck rhinoceros without the horn. Yeah, it was Fifth Element. It did loads of stuff. It had fire on it as well, didn't it? It had missiles and all that kind of crap. Nets and all that kind of, yeah.
it's a bullet that has the effect of going around corners. It's a game changer. And they'll be able to use this to target snipers hidden in trenches rather than calling airstrikes. And so it has a 20, well, we don't have to dwell time on this.
Tenet was a mad film. Tenet was pretty mad. Like the bullet, it was weird. It was weird. Everything was in reverse. And the ending was mad as well. I don't think it's Chris Nolan's best. Like it was interesting, but it's probably not as big as good as what people thought it was going to be. I wasn't amazed by it, but I like the concept. I like anything that's got to do with time travel, especially. I mean, that's a different spin on time travel. That was like one world was kind of reversing time while the other was going forward. It's kind of mad, and it's crazy. But you interact with both in each world. It's weird. But it was a good concept.
I'm having trouble with the other thing. So it's a game changer basically, and all the soldier has to do is the thing would add a meter using a button on his trigger, and when fired, the explosive round would carry exactly 1 meter past the wall before it explodes. In the nature of a hand grenade.
Sorry, I got to correct myself. I said Chris Rock was in it. It's not Chris Rock. It's Chris Tucker. Chris Tucker, not Chris Rock.
Yeah, it was Chris Tucker. He was acting as like a very flamboyant kind of gay. Yeah.
Very much so. But he wasn't gay in it, was he? Because he was still with women, but he was very. Yeah.
He was just feminine.
Aye, good film though.
Wait. What do they call him? Metro or something, right?
Metrosexual. Metrosexual.
Let's get back to the transhumanism more directly. Direct human extension, supplementing the human anatomy. The FDA has approved a telescopic bionic eye implant, by the way. This is the beginning of it. It involves removing the lens of the eye completely and replacing it with a now FDA-approved.
I think I might get one of them myself, actually. It'd be handy, but no way would I do anything like that to myself, man. As much as handy as things like that would be, you don't tamper with that kind of crap.
Approved implant capable of.
I don't understand these people who get tattoos on their eyeballs. Why would you do that? Why would you even put a needle near your eye?
How do you even take that pain?
I know. Especially your eyeball's like leather. You know what I mean? Your actual eyeball, it's like leather. It's got a fair way to go through that. And then behind it, it's your pupil is called vitreous humor, which is like a jelly. You know what I mean? That's why it can contract and expand. That's just crazy stuff, though. Crazy. Nah. You seen that alien dude who's got lumps all over his face, tattoos over his body, his tongue's split in half, his eyeballs are tattooed. Crazy stuff, man. He had a couple of fingers lopped off, so it looks like he's got 3 fingers. You know, like what? It's crazy stuff.
Magnifying almost 2 to 3 times. And the specific thing isn't that important, except it shows you a direction they're going. They're able to do things that are not just replacement for something you lost, but something that might have functionality that goes beyond what you had. We're going to look at a few of those if I can get this thing to. This is very strange. Okay, well, I'll go at it manually here if I can. Okay. In robotics, they don't use gears and hydraulics anymore. They actually use muscles. They have a bionic muscle is 100 times stronger than yours, and they're made out of elastic metal called the shape of memory wire, and they're chemically powered with alcohol. Don't jump to conclusions, but we'll go. These artificial muscles are, of course, funded by the military, as you can imagine. And so let's just.
You want to speak?
But if he says it's not using hydraulics and stuff, it's using like alcohol and stuff, but that is based on how hydraulics work, though. Pressure,
yeah.
So it's still actually hydraulics.
I've just found that Gadget. There it is. That Gadget there. That's what he used to look like, and that's what he looks like now. His nose cut off and everything. It's horrid, isn't it?
Why would you want to do that? It doesn't make sense.
It's disgusting, isn't it? You seen it, babe? Biggie?
Yeah, I watched it with you.
Oh yeah, you watched that. Yeah, that's right. He got laid that night as well, didn't he?
What?
Some bad like fancy thing.
Fancy him.
Yeah, and she went home with him. I couldn't believe it.
No, I don't get it.
Are you mad? I think his penis is split in half as well. You know, when people do that kind of crap, it's terrible. Unbelievable.
The sad thing is, most of those people that do that end up taking their own life later on.
Yep, that's it.
Well, someone said to him, didn't they, about what's going to happen when you meet God? Like, because the way you abused your body.
Well, God will be like, I'm sorry, like, but I can't resurrect that body. It's terrible.
God will be like, ew, what's that?
I can't give that a new body. That's just too hard to work with. God's got to say in that case, look, I know I'm the Almighty, but I've got limits in that case.
No, but I do find it sad though, because he's got to live with that for the rest of his life.
You can never change that.
No.
Yeah, you see, the thing is, when it comes to, I don't know how God would actually like this, but if I have to think about it, because he's actually going away from God's image. God created us in his image.
Exactly.
So when he's doing that, it's a declaration that he doesn't want to be in God's image. So you know what I mean? Unless he maybe repents afterwards, I think it's a different story.
That's a good point. He's come away from God's image. So yeah, in that way, he's totally denouncing God.
He wants to look like an alien, and that's just bizarre to me that somebody would do all that.
We know now. I mean, he is a fake alien, but what he's going through, I believe, is demonic. There's no way that's just a sick mind. I think that's want to look like that. It's got to be demonic. I think, because that doesn't just look like an alien. It looks like a demon. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's good.
Just keep moving on here while it's working here. There's.
I don't know if you're talking to us, Flats. Or not.
My son.
Okay. Got you.
Machine emplacements, of course, and the thing that impedes robotics is skin. Well, one of the things they're trying to do is get direct.
I agree with this kind of thing. Absolutely, definitely. For people who bust their limbs, got no limbs and all that, they've got them amputated, soldiers, stuff like that, the van blown off. Definitely, why not get stuff like that? But to start going inside the body and changing mind and wiring things up and all that kind of stuff is completely different. You
Can you remember Dr. Ock on Spider-Man, where it them arms started controlling him?
Aye, Dr. Octo.
Yeah.
Aye, Dr. Ock. Aye, that's right. Aye, they did. Aye, exactly. A bit like that. That's it. But yeah, this kind of thing's okay. This kind of thing's okay. I mean, if you start having arms like what's his name, the Winter Soldier, that's different because then it's a weapon. You know what I mean? But this is fine.
Limb to brain communication with these things. And robotic limbs have limited motions.
Sorry, saying that if it's limb to brain, if it's having to put something in your brain to operate this, no. But if it's operated on, say, twitches in your muscle or whatever, in the muscle on your upper arm, fine. But if it's messing with your brain, no, definitely not.
Can't feel what he or she is touching. A new approach using optical fibers implanted around the nerves can transmit more data and let the prosthetics speak to the brain. Scientists have discovered they can stimulate a neuron to send a message by shining infrared light on it. And so DARPA, the Advanced Research Projects Agency of the Department of Defense, is awarding contracts to explore these kinds of things further. The direct brain-to-computer interfacing, people are actually connecting these devices to their brain. And a monkey here is operating a robotic arm with direct brain-to-computer interfacing. And it's responding to his thought patterns.
And
they can quickly...
And that's neat.
Yeah, Neuralink.
That's a monkey doing that, but now we've actually got a dude doing that, a guy doing it, haven't we? And that happened this year, didn't it?
Yeah, there was a second person now.
Crazy.
Taking a Neuralink, yeah.
And that's the start of it, without a doubt.
See, yeah. But you see, that's the thing. It comes on like a false pretense of being good.
Yeah.
And later on, that's when they realize, oh no, they shouldn't have done it. You know what I mean?
Of course. Then they'll be turning humans into weapons and stuff. You know what I mean? It's just... Well, they pretty much have done that, haven't they?
To control voluntarily, they can control the firing rates of individual multiple neurons in the primary motor cortex if rewarded properly.
Jim Anus. How's it going, Jim Anus? Good to see you, man. Good to see you, bro. His name's mental, isn't it? Jim Anus. Anus.
And so on. And I won't get into those details. So the main point is the thing that's held robotics back is a replacement for skin. And they now have found a way to make synthetic skin that is so sensitive it can feel the footprint of a fly, which means the robot can be designed to tell what it's picking up. Is it a wine glass? Is it a bowling ball? Is it a piece of silk? It can tell. And so the synthetics, that's been...
Isn't that mad that a synthetic skin could differentiate between things? That's madness. I don't think they're there yet, but they could be, because we never know. Because we don't hear about it till later, do we? So they could be there.
They are doing that with skin.
Right. See that? That's mental. Mental. Come on, man.
A major breakthrough in the robotics area. And I won't get into there's two different ways you can do that. And I won't take the time to spend our time on that. The other field, I want to go through four fields. We've talked about genetics. We've talked about robotics briefly. There's a field called nanotechnology that I want you to be aware of. That involves the manufacture and manipulation of materials at the molecular level in the atom, the smallest things you can get. And here, to give you a feeling of a nanometer, it takes about 100,000 nanometers is a piece of paper. So nanometers are very, very small. So you're talking about molecular-sized machines. And they can develop drugs. And for example, it can go and find a place in your body and deliver a microdose, if you will, that would have an intensity 10,000 to 1 you could do any other way. So they have tremendous potential. And our skills at developing nanomaterials, of course, is going so fast that it's hard to even keep up with any one of these.
That's pretty much it, isn't it, though? Nanobots doing. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Nanobots.
Yeah, but I mean, this was the thing as well when they said, like, with this whole COVID thing. They also thought maybe put nanobots in there, you understand? We don't know what's going to happen.
Oh, I know. And like I said, people think this is just like, yeah, we know it's close, but it's still around the corner. It's still ages away, but it's not. It's there. It's there. I mean, they were probably playing Xbox 360 in the 50s. You know what I mean?
But the big one, the fourth one of the ones I want to summarize here is artificial intelligence. And that's the blurring the distinctions between.
Oh, by the way, Flats, that was a cool thumbnail on your live stream earlier. Your 7-minute live stream. That was a cool thumbnail. Pretty cool.
Glad you like it.
Yeah, it's funky. It's funky. Scary clan. Scary clan.
Yeah, I don't
The
know how
man in
Jack
the
looked. I couldn't put his face there, so.
Nah. He's an ass, isn't he? He's an absolute ass. He made a video about Barbara as well. He made a video about Barbara.
He's an idiot. And now Andrew Johnson saying, oh, Flat Earth lies again. Literally when I showed making my point about the C-17 plane.
I think Jack of all trades is Andrew Johnson.
Dude,
I don't think so. I've got a feeling he might be McToon or something.
that wouldn't surprise me. I'll tell you what, with these guys, goodness knows, but there's definitely some people that we suspect are other people, the other person. You know what I mean? Definitely.
No, but the behaviours of AA, AJ, and SJ.
Right.
They're all linked together. They've all got the same kind of personality.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No.
Absolutely. It's weird that they all seem to be Australian. No offense, Jim.
Eduardo.
Oh, no.
Machine. And there are ways now that it's getting fuzzier and fuzzier as to which is which. The first step towards computer mind reading has come from using brain scans to identify thoughts, and they're doing this at Princeton University's Neuroscience Institute. And these brain scans there's patterns that they're starting to study. What's exciting about this too is it's non-invasive. They don't have to directly connect to the brain. They can read the brains through other devices. I'll show you here in a minute. And the basic idea is to try to determine what's on the subject's mind and see what they can infer from the brain scans directly. And so they're looking at the pattern, studying that. And so there's a lot of optimism. We'll come back to that here too. There's actually a television set being marketed in China.
Chillin says Johnston. Sounds a bit of a dick. Yeah, Johnson. Definitely a dick, man. Definitely.
A bit.
Yeah,
Well,
a lot.
I don't think he has a big one though. So
Obviously not.
No.
As I say, they're all more bitches.
his
than
ghoulies are all around the globe.
What's that about bitches, babe?
I said they're all bigger bitches than my female dog.
Yep.
All of them together. Not one pair of balls to rub between them.
No. They're idiots, man.
Higher, in which you change channels by thinking about them. And the way this works is or change the volume, whatever. What you do is you wear a mindset. Now this, by the way, is a retail device. They're sold for a couple $100, primarily for university use. But they will measure and report non-invasively the brain waves, and they're primarily used for games and such. But Higher is using it to try to be able to control your television set. I think most of you realize the toughest thing to control on the television is the off switch, but we'll move on here. But this mind reader headset is what startled me is it's a retail device. And if you're interested, you can track it down on the internet for a couple $100. You can buy one and figure out something to do with it then. But the Army's, though, has a mind control project where they're trying to...
Yeah, I've just double checked. This video was out 11 years ago. So I dare say this was either new then or a few years old then, something like that. So that's 11 years ago it's over a decade. So it's a fair time ago, and they had this then. It's crazy, and people think we haven't got this now. People are deceived. People are deceived.
Develop thought helmets that would harness silent brainwaves for secure communication among troops. And that's not, they actually, those are contracts that are being led. They hope it'll lead to direct mental control of military systems by thought alone. And
no, they don't, Jeff. Flat showed it in that video earlier on, in the Antarctica flight. You see one little window.
Look,
Yeah, but I've got many more I can show.
these people know they're just doing it to be pedantic, you know. Out to be against the flat earther, you know.
Of course. You got one window to look out. I mean, you don't know where you're looking. Come on.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at the C-17s, there is nowhere to look out because you're sitting in the cargo area.
Aye.
So
Exactly.
what are you going to look out of? You've got to stay seated the whole time.
Mm-hmm. Exactly right. And they're sitting there in the middle, like where you can't even see the window. Yeah, exactly.
And they're a long way from getting there, but they're letting research contracts in that direction. And so a 5-year contract's been awarded to a coalition of scientists, both.
I just remember the Space Cadets tonight, isn't it?
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
Yeah, sound cool.
But I got to let you guys that the ALE B757 does take off from Argentina. I checked up, and it lands in Antarctica, but it doesn't say it lands specifically where they say it lands. So they do other planes. If I look at specifically Union Glacier, because I actually went on their site and on their YouTube and everything and checked out, they have 3 different planes.
Right.
And a cargo plane, but they don't have that B757 that's there by Union Glacier.
Right.
So that's the odd thing. So
Wow.
who knows? It's really weird stuff.
Oh, it certainly is.
But I was looking at the travel guys when they're like, oh yeah, you can go skiing and you know all that stuff, but it's only a 10-kilometer radius that you're allowed to do that. So that's if the weather permits you.
Yeah, right. Exactly. In this final experiment, I don't think they'll end up going. I really don't. I think there'll be something to hold it up, and it'll be promised to go later. Then it'll fizzle out. Or if they do go, it's got to be a trick of some sort. You know what I mean?
Well, they can go. They can be quite bored because I saw what did they had there. They had some volleyball to keep you busy. You got a toilet. You got a phone booth. You got a phone booth. No internet. There's a tent and a food court.
Oh, nice. Sounds fun.
Yeah. And they got a shop that sells their merch.
Lovely. You
That's
can try
about
and make it to snowman if the snow ain't that. The snow is probably not even soft.
But you know what's odd? They made a statement on that every time that someone comes to land there every year, they come actually with a cargo plane, which would be a C-17, by the way, to bring all their supplies. So that wouldn't make sense that they would come on the B757 if they have to bring cargo with them, will it?
Yeah, exactly. A real nice vacation. Exactly doing. Lovely.
The University of California, Irvine, Carnegie.
Sorry, babe.
Imagine spending all that money for that. Like,
I know.
might as well literally just set fire to it.
Been said a million times as well. Flats have said it, Michael said it, a few people have said it. You can spend that on missionary work. You know what I mean? You can spend it on homeless people. You know what I mean? People who need help in his church. You'd think you'd spend it on something to do with Jesus' work. I don't think this is Jesus' work.
I think that man's more about making money, isn't he?
No, but you'll see, this is a personal thing to him. You'll see on my documentary, it's actually a part I'm working on at the moment, where he made a video making a statement. You can see it's personal to him. It's not about flat or globe. It's specifically personal to him.
Right.
I'll just waste the money.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Maryland and University of Maryland to try to decode the activity in those brain and so the soldier could radio commands to one or more comrades by thinking of the message he wants them to get. But perhaps the most dangerous of all these things are the brain-to-computer interfaces, or BCIs they call them. And they're actually implanted inside the skull, but rest outside the brain rather than within the gray matter. And
that's what we're seeing now. I mean, obviously it's a little different from this, but that's what we're seeing now.
This, what most people that are in this field are, this thing is acting strange here. Let me kill that. Is that on there too? Yeah. When these professors connect themselves to computers or other devices, they are typically PhD, and PhDs are very, very trained in a specificity, a specific area. But there's something that goes along with a PhD, and that's pride. And one of the things...
That is so true. That is so true.
Wow, how many? Oh, wow, how many people do we know? Well, with alleged PhDs that are full of pride, full of hubris, full of their own cack. Millions. Well, not millions, but a lot. Unbelievable. So true.
Things that startles me is to realize that these people, and I've trafficked with many of them in government labs and elsewhere, have usually zero insight theologically. They have no grasp of the field of study called demonology, and in a field within which there are things called entries.
Yeah.
Measure ways that demons can gain access.
Right.
And when you open up communication channels, those are two-way channels.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. Give them any kind of opening, whether it be Ouija board, trying to talk with the dead somehow. You're opening it. It's not just one way. It's not just them talking to you and all that, or you just whatever experiences something. It's two-way, man. You know what I mean? They can come in. Demons can come in. Obviously, people don't think they're talking to demons. They think they're talking to dead relatives and all that. But it's two-way. Like he says, they can come in as well as you've been able to communicate. Absolutely.
So the kinds of things that are possible, I'm not saying they're prevalent at the moment, but are possible, are really quite disturbing.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, the best resolution if you're going to do this kind of study is direct connection, and people are doing things like that. Let's shift a little more to the computer side of it. IBM has unveiled experimental computer chips designed for a new generation of brain-inspired computers that learn from what's going on. And I'm talking about the hardware itself does. Cognitive computing aims to use information from many different inputs. So it's multiple input, and it's self-programming, if you will. And these chips would allow a sensor-studded glove to monitor sights, smells, textures, temperature of grocery products, whatever. There's all kinds of commercial potential here. But they'll also integrate messages in ways that may be far more intuitive than we normally think of in terms of software alone. And I won't get into the specifications, because any specification I put in a slide is out of date a week later, so we'll just keep moving here. But there is a comment here that needs to be made. There is...
And we've certainly got computers that learn, that's for sure. That happens all the time.
A point, Ray Kurzweil, one of the gurus in this world, looks for a crossover. He gives it an unfortunate name. He borrows a term from mathematics called a singularity. He calls it the singularity. It's an unfortunate term because it's misleading, but what he means by that is there's a point at which the computers will exceed the capacity of the human brain. And that's only a few years away, not a few decades, a few years away. It's that close. And when that happens, that's a major, major milestone in the field of artificial intelligence, obviously. And we'll talk more about that. But the computers that learn...
Hey, Alan, good to see you, bro. Good to see you, man. Morning for you, is it? 3:22 in the afternoon here. Bless you, man. Nice one for coming. Deb?
Hi, Alan.
There you go.
They're already taking these into applications of pattern recognition, navigation, other areas. And I don't want to get in the details of this one. There's a new partnership between IBM and 3M where they're looking towards a new breed of microprocessors where they stack 100 layers of chips atop one another to make it thinner. You make things thinner for lots of reasons. Speed is part of it. When you're operating at those speeds, even a few inches can be too big an encumbrance. And so they're trying to, 3M's trying to create an adhesive that will allow this to happen. It's also, there's a heat dissipation issue and the rest of it. But this is also expecting to give you 1,000 to 1 advantage, and this thing still isn't. Okay, we'll just do it manually here. Okay. So I want to get into the art.
Hey, Derek, good to see you, bro. Good to see you, man. Nice one for coming.
Who's got like a bell chime thing going off?
It's on this. It's on this video. Yeah, because he had it earlier on, and it's something he's pressing on his laptop.
Alright.
Because he wondered what it was earlier on. He looked around, but it was him pressing it. He didn't know what was going on.
In the artificial intelligence area, the power of computers obviously are continuing to accelerate. Their size, their energy and costs are diminishing, and the facility of the hardware continues to accelerate. Both the hardware and the software are making gigantic leaps week by week as we go. And the singularity I tried to explain, that's a term that is associated with Ray Kurzweil, but that's when the computational intelligence exceeds that of the human mind. That's the target. Now you say, well, what's wrong with that? You have to understand what their admitted ultimate goal is. Because if you can take your intelligence and transfer it into that environment, you've achieved immortality. It's a path to immortality and to exchange consciousness between.
If you can put your consciousness into an AI kind of robot machine, that's it. Yeah, it is. And you wouldn't have a soul then. I don't think you wouldn't have a soul, you wouldn't have a spirit. You might as well just be dead. I mean, I dare say that's going to happen where you could do that. I mean, but I don't think you wouldn't. You'd be dead inside because you wouldn't have a soul. You wouldn't have a spirit. All that's gone. Because that can't just be contained in your consciousness. You know what I mean? My thought.
Bodies, synthetic or otherwise.
Did somebody say something? No.
And the fact that this could at least conceivably lead to a path of.
But can I just say hello to everybody, Alan, Derek? I'm not being ignorant. I just can't be bothered to be on YouTube.
And Vicky's doing something. What are you doing?
I'm here. I'm just.
Oh yeah. Oh, because Derek said hi.
Hi, Derek.
Is Roger actually streaming that then with Duffy?
Don't know.
What's crack with that?
I don't know. I thought I think Sov said he was going to stream it, didn't he? Hope I can stay away.
There's a late stream at time for 4 o'clock with Sov. I bet that's what it is then. You need to make sure you're done for Sov.
So right, let's just quickly
4
see.
o'clock.
Is it 4? Well, what time is
so.
it? Right, this has got it's half an hour. It's an hour and 22.
Just check on Sov's channel. I'm sure it said.
Yeah, I'm going to check now. Check now.
Oh, God.
Because I was thinking, like, what's Sov doing on that early?
Yeah, 33 minutes.
Right. Wherever this gets to at that time, then I'll stop there, guys. Doesn't matter where it gets to, because it's not going to finish in that time. So wherever it gets to, guys, just stop there.
Immortality can give you a glimpse of what kind of theology these people share, or lack thereof, if you will. Ray Kurzweil's concept of this consciousness not only will be able to be translated into a machine, you can combine consciousness. If you collectivize the consciousness, at the end of a documentary on his life, they asked him, "Do you believe there's a God?" And his answer is very simple. He says, "Not yet." That's really the goal that they think they're on. Now, see, the real problem is the real you. See, I can't see you. I'm standing up on stage. I can see the package you are in. You see, the real you, call it soul, spirit, conscience, whatever, you are temporary resident in a disposable hardware environment. Why shouldn't it be transferable to an alternate, perhaps advantageous environment, even a machine-enhanced environment? The day will be coming when they can create an environment that may be more hospitable than your own body, at least in their mind.
Wow.
So what would limit a continuing path to subsequent upgrades? I'm ready for an upgrade. I don't plan to look to them for that upgrade, by the way.
Certainly not that type of upgrade. I'd rather have the new body upgrade from God, from Jesus himself. Can't wait to get my new body, man. Because this one's one time. I need to get back to the gym. Man.
So there's some coming nightmares coming. The real behind the scenes, something I haven't focused on, but I want to before we're through, is talk about super soldiers armed with ultimate weapons. There is an arms race going on. It's very hidden, but very real, between all the development countries. China, Russia, and the US, probably places in Europe, are going in this direction in the hopes of being able to field the super soldier. That could be a game changer in the pattern of nations. Networked super soldiers with unlimited mind controls, can you imagine? Unenforced lawlessness among a privileged few is part of the scenario here. Consciousness exchanges offering a form of immortality.
I wouldn't, Jeff. I wouldn't stop eating meat. I went veggie for 3 weeks once. That's back in the 90s. Veggie food's all right, but yeah, I like meat too much. There's no way I'd go completely veggie, especially vegan.
It's all about balance anyway. Like
if something exactly, but if there was something went wrong with meat, we couldn't eat meat for some reason. Yes, I could easily eat being a vegetarian, but vegan, no.
I am never not eating meat.
There's videos knocking about though where people are getting some vegetables and some meat, and they don't seem like they're normal.
Well, that's it. Well, I've got videos of the Chinese fake meat and stuff like that, and they're using things like lymph nodes and mashing them up and making them look like, putting them in curries, putting them in Chinese's and that. But actually, in the industrial food as well, they're getting this crappy just meat and making it and putting some type of glue in it and making it look like big joints and stuff like that. It's fake steaks and all that. And some of the stuff they're giving you to eat isn't even edible for human consumption. It's not fit for human consumption.
Do you know what we should all do though?
Getting things like wood chip and stuff like that.
Instead of buying food from like meat from the supermarket, go to a butcher.
I'll have to
go to a local farm shop.
Yeah, I'll have to do one of them videos again. I used to do them when I was doing the streams at night time. You know, when I was doing the early hours of the morning, like 2 in the morning and that. I did that when I was doing the vampire ones and stuff.
You're weird.
I did this fake Chinese food thing. But it kind of puts you off certain stuff. So I don't want to watch them too often. But I might do a stream on one of them again.
Well, the thing is, you can be vegan. I've been seeing, especially if you're trying to do bodybuilding, so like build muscles and all that. But you have to take so much more just to get the proteins, and even then, you still have health issues if you do it long run.
I know.
I think it's really stupid to become vegan. God didn't make us vegan.
I know. Look at the state of the vegan teacher. She's skinny as hell. You know what I mean? I mean, Vegan Gains, he's got a good build to him, but he's an asshole, an absolute asshole. You know Vegan Gains?
I've heard of him.
Oh, he's an absolute dick. He debated Flat Earth once. Can't remember who he debated. He did it once, and he did it so bad he did not even know that the horizon was meant to be 3.7 miles away.
But the thing is, a lot of the people that especially the influencers that try and pose vegan, how much of them have been caught eating meat or taking supplements and stuff that they're not supposed to take? You understand? It's right. Easy just to say something and live it out is a different thing.
Yeah, I mean, Vegan Gains, he's probably steadied up. I don't care what he says, he's probably steadied up.
A lot of vegan Christian believers are like to try and pin it on God, like, God didn't create animals to kill and eat, and I mean, it's
people sacrifice animals to God. You know what I mean? So come on.
Yeah, but what do they think is going to happen to the animals if everyone goes vegan? Do they think that farmers are going to continue to pay for these animals to live on their farms for free, or they're created for us to eat? We're killing farming as it is without everyone going vegan.
But how can you look at that and say, I don't want to eat that?
Well, no. It's weird. Also, if you are a vegan, that's fine. Just don't push it onto other people. If you want to eat grass and leaves for the rest of your life, then fair play to you, but I ain't.
Yeah. Don't push it on others, and don't try and lay it at God's feet either.
I was in rehab in Manchester.
I mean, even Jesus ate meat, so come on, man.
That's it. I was in rehab with this Scandinavian guy in Manchester. I can't remember his name. Mad name. Tall, really blonde hair. When we used to go out delivering leaflets. This is after he got over the rattle and all that kind of thing. Out delivering leaflets because I worked in the furniture shop when I was there as well, selling furniture and all that. And furniture we refurbished, sort of thing. So we went out delivering the leaflets as well. But you used to have a dinner break and all that. So you'd sit and chill in the park and that. And this Scandinavian dude, he would eat oranges and all that. He'd eat oranges, eat the skins, bananas, eat the skins and all that as well. But when he was out, he had this compulsion to pick leaves up and just eat the leaves straight off the grass, eat it, just keep eating it. Like, that's not normal behavior, dude, man. He's just sitting there taking dandelions and just munching dandelions and getting a dandelion leaf, munching that, getting some grass, munching that, getting some flower petals and munching that. And, like, dude, stop it, please. And he wouldn't. He just kept doing it. I just didn't think it was normal behavior. Just anything off the ground, you eat it, man. Yeah. Nasty.
Collective consciousness ushering in a utopian collective, or the ultimate nightmare. That's what's on the horizon. This is not decades away. These are just a matter of years in the minds of the practitioners. So we have convergent technology. We've got nanotechnologies whose goal is molecule-sized machines. We have robotics, which are aimed at being self-modifying sentient machines. That's their goal, and they're working on it. And those two technologies, grease each other. There's genetics, of course, whose goal is the self-replication of manipulated entities. And then you have, thus from that, you'll get directable diseases targeting specific groups, maybe even individuals. There's no reason they can't design a disease that would only affect your DNA. Mail you a letter, be careful who said it, yeah? And of course, artificial intelligence, exceeding the human mind, the singularity, if you will. These are convergent technologies. The composite goal, self-replicating sentient machines, superior, perhaps overwhelming, combatant strengths, transfer of consciousness between and to extension bodies, a path towards immortality, a lure, of course, towards global tyranny. These things constitute a lure towards global tyranny. Can you imagine those technologies if they were in the hands of some people we know of the past? Can you imagine what they would have done? Now, something else you should know, there is a group called the Jasons. It's an independent group of scientists which advises the United States government on matters of science and technology. They were created as a way to have a younger generation of scientists to replace the...
Yo, Jeremy. Good to see you, bro. Good to see you, man.
Los Alamos and MIT Radiation Laboratory alumni. And For administrative purposes, they're administered through the MITRE Corporation. But the point is, their sponsors include the Department of Defense, of course, and Navy and Department of Energy and the U.S. intelligence community. Most of the JASON reports are classified. They all have security clearances. They include physicists, biologists, chemists, all kinds of fields, by the way. And they're selected because of their scientific brilliance. And over the years, they've included 11 Nobel Prize laureates and several dozen members of the United States National Academy of Sciences. And classified transhuman projects are the dominant topic of the contracts that they are getting. We can't get the contracts, they're classified, but we can find out a lot about them. So let's see if I can get this to change. Good, yeah. And I won't go through the list. You can skim through quickly on here the flavor of the kinds of contracts that are accelerating our progress in what they collectively call transhumanism. And now we have a highly classified priority agenda that drives a widespread global arms race that will eclipse all others.
Jason, why Jason? What did the Jason mean? I didn't get that. Maybe you'll say.
And so this is leading what we call the age. What's leading to is the age of hybrids. And there's another kind of hybrid I want to talk about before we're through. But we've talked about the Rasputin and the dangers. Okay, what are the dangers here? I've highlighted them so far. Let's back up here a second here. One of the dangers of all of this is it ignores what I call the metacosm. And for this and almost everything else that we publish in our materials, you may want to understand what that term means. There are boundaries to the reality, to our physical reality. Those are well known today, by the way. I want to touch on that. I'm going to use the symbol of Da Vinci's Vitruvian Man as a representation of the reach of man. Okay, that represents you and me. And I'm going to let, on the diagram up there, let size increase to the right. Bigness is to the right, smallness to the left, okay? Now, as we look towards things that are larger than ourselves, we'll call that collectively the macrocosm. And that plunges you into the study of astronomy and astrophysics and topics like that. We have whole presentations on each of these topics, but the main thing here is 20th century science. The great discovery of 20th century science is that the universe is finite. It's not infinite. It may be expanding, but it's finite. And that's both thermographically and other reasons demonstrable. So the macrocosm, there's a limit to the size of the universe. And because there is, that's what gives rise to these speculations called the Big Bang and whatever. We know it had a beginning, and we know that it'll ultimately have an end. But let's move on from that. Let's go the other way. Let's look at smallness. And now we'll call that the microcosm. When you get into this world, it gets weirder than any of the others. It leads with quantum physics and subatomic particles. And whether you're talking about length, mass, energy, or time, you discover that everything in small has a limit to how small it can be. See, you and I would think that if I took a piece of string, I'd cut it in half, no problem. I'd take the half, I could cut it in half. And you would think that conceptually, at least, I could do that. It might get too small to literally do, but your thinking is, whatever I've got left, I can cut in half. That turns out to be true. It turns out when you get to 10 to minus 33 centimeters, that's very small, and try to cut that in half, it loses a very peculiar property. It loses a thing called locality. It has what they call non-locality. And it's been proven in the laboratory that every photon in the universe knows exactly what every other photon in the universe is doing in a certain sense.
Yeah, this is quantum mechanics again. They're saying everything is linked up.
I've just found where Chuck Misslers talks about flat Earth.
Really?
I remember saying to people that I'm sure he was a flat earther, but when I seen him in some of the other stuff I've done, he seemed heliocentric. But this is a talk in 2016. It's flat Earth, and he's got a question mark next to it, and it's 3 minutes and 10 in, and he's meant to be talking about flat Earth. We'll quickly put this on before. We'll quickly put it on before sobs.
No, save it for another day. Cause it
Put it
might,
for another day. Right, I'll put it in my
Yeah. Definitely keep it for another day, man.
I'll go through it because I don't know if he's saying he's a flat earther here or if they're just talking about it. I might have got confused about the whole situation, but I found it, so I'm gonna put it in my watch later. And it's 3:10. It's about 3:10 in. It's got the chapters in it, so all good. It's got the chapters in it. They're talking about a lot of stuff. It's a 50-minute video, but 3 minutes and 10 in. It's flat earth and it's got a question mark next to it. So, and I remember him wearing a red shirt. And he's wearing like a red salmon shirt colour here, so it might be it. It might be it. Let's carry on with this then.
That there's a concept of non-locality that's philosophically shattering. But the main point is there is a limit to smallness. Now, I want you to understand the implications of this. You and I are in an environment that turns out to be a virtual simulation that's a digital simulation. And now, that's not my conclusion. You get Scientific American, June of 2005, there's an article there that highlights this sort of thing.
hey, Roger.
I was just saying to him, he's saying,
Are you at Duffy's yet?
he just said hello to me in bloody Messenger. I'm just texting you back in Messenger, you donkey.
Yeah, Roger must come in for 2 minutes quickly.
Yeah, come in, Rog. Come in.
Okay.
I'll put the link in.
Is at the church.
He's at the church already, yeah.
Yeah, well, listen, Roger. Give it to Duffy, man.
So you're not coming in. Are you coming in for a sec?
No, I don't think he'll be able to.
No, you're at the church.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
But
cool.
but I think he's gonna show it live though, because Sov is gonna stream it, I think.
Cool. Yeah, we're going over to Sovs. We're finishing before 4, dude. We're going over to Sovs, man. So, see you in a little bit, dude.
The scientists are disturbed because they're discovering that some of the constants of physics are changing. And it's very hard to prove, and they're working very hard at that, but it's turning out they are. And what the article points out, that if the constants of physics are changing, that implies that our reality is a shadow of a larger reality. That's their words, not mine. And when I saw that, I just jumped for joy, because that's exactly what the Bible has been saying all along. Is that well, let's see, I think I go a little further. Whoops. No, I think I've spared you a diversion here. There is the ancient Hebrew.
Just felt lads were talking about boxes of light. How do you know a closed box ain't got light in it?
Yeah.
Like that.
Absolutely.
What is
sages, Nachmanides, from his.
Yeah. What is light and what is mass?
Exactly right.
Yeah, because if you think about it, a lot of them say mass is like a resistance to inertia, but show me light having a resistance to inertia.
Exactly, dude.
But is there not no definition for masses in physics?
They got a couple. That's the problem. They can't decide themselves.
Right. So we stop here because I need to quickly make something to eat, just something microwavable, and then we'll go.
I'll have to put my phone on charge, and then I'll see if I can maybe go on the computer and watch them a bit.
Yeah. Cool. And you'll still be on normal time, won't you?
I'm gonna be making my dinner.
Yeah.
So I'll be able to listen.
Might we'll stop it here while this is halfway in, so I can do another half of it. Maybe I don't know.
I'm just gonna finish off my vegan chicken.
Yeah, we can do the other half another day. We can do the other half today. So let's go over and get. I'm gonna go and grab something to eat quickly, and then go over to Sobs for 4 o'clock. Beautiful, right, guys. Nice one for turning up. Bless yous. Thanks for being faithful and loyal and always turning up, guys. Nice one. It's always a pleasure to be with you, as I always say. Next one for the panel, dudes. Thanks for coming up, guys. Babe. There you go. That's right. Nice one, guys. Here the sunset's free. It's free.
Indeed.
I knew you were going to talk. Let's, guys. See you in a minute. Ta-da.